How's it going, guys? Splicer here. Right, well, the Ghost Recon Wildlands PvP beta has finally arrived. It's free for anyone to download and play up until the 25th of September. You just got to simply download it and give it a go. Now, I don't think it's too bad, to be honest. I was a little bit apprehensive at first about a tactical 4v4 sort of PvP mode and how it wouldn't really flow. But the way in which this beta is working so far is actually pretty cool and allows you to sort of work quite tactically with the team, and you get quite an enjoyable experience out of it. Now, fundamentally, the game has been flawed since the DLC releases and stuff like that. So, obviously, there's a massive reduction in player base because we had the launch, we had DLCs that weren't attached to the main game, and then now we've got the PvP beta several months after the game is released. And of course, it's not going to be attached to the main game. And that's obviously not what we all expected that because of the way the DLCs were played out. Now this could have been changed. They could have brought it out, the DLCs that added to the main game, and it kept the player base there, and then they brought in this PvP part, perhaps like the Division does, and then you could have like an area where PvP would take place, but it's not like that. It would be a separate part. However, it's working pretty good for now. So you've got 5 maps in the beta. You've also got several different classes. They've only given us 2 per group that we can try out for this, but there are 12 overall, and they've balanced this game pretty well. So you can only select 1 class per team member. So you can't have like 4 snipers all dominating the high ground and just obliterating the enemy. So you can only have one of those, and then you can mix up amongst the team. And I think that dynamic is how the game truly comes together and makes it quite enjoyable, because you have to use your team members to be able to take out the enemy. The problem with this game is if you want to sort of go out on your own and take on 4 enemies, you're not going to be able to do that, because as soon as you fire your weapon, if it's not silenced, there's a little marker that pops up and everyone in that map knows where you are. There's also people with drones that fly up, and if they mark you, or if they can see you, they mark you, and then again the whole enemy team know you're there. So you can play that to your advantage. You could use yourself as like bait almost and fire off your weapon so it forces the enemy to come to you, and then you can bring him into that kill box where you've got your sniper and you've got your scout, and you can sort of take him into this kill area and take him out. So it adds that tactical approach to the game, which was almost lacking in the main game, where you could just sort of run and gun and sort of run through the mission. But now it adds that tactical element to it, and it is actually pretty enjoyable. I'm enjoying myself. But yeah, if you guys were interested in this game before and you had it and perhaps sort of traded it in or stopped playing it, or even if you've given the game away, obviously the beta is free and anybody can download it. So just jump on, give it a go. See if it sort of ignites that love for the game that you once had, and it might bring you back to it. But, like I say, it is completely separate. It's fairly slow between maps and between matches, but it's still in the beta stage, and maybe these will get ironed out before launch. But it's quite cool to see they've added some new features. Obviously this is a free update for people that own the game, and anyone can play it now. There's a few extra features in it, for example, sort of the sound markers when you find your weapon. There's added a massive suppression element to it, and they've sort of changed the revive structure as well. So this is quite an interesting element of the game. So if you get shot, obviously you can be revived by a teammate, but you don't really show up on the map to the enemy, so you need to sort of keep an eye on where that body was that you shot. Whereas you think you're winning, it'll be 4v1, all of a sudden 2 of your team members get shot, and then the enemy teams revive 3 of their members. It's 4 against 2, and the dynamic is completely shifted towards now you being sort of the one that needs to run and not be the aggressor. You sort of got to defend, and it's quite an interesting sort of play on how it works and tactically how you're going to work with that team. And there is this sort of feeling that it's almost like a little bit like PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds, where obviously it's not Battle Royale, but it is sort of, you're out on your own potentially if you don't really use your team. There's not really too much to see. The enemy can quite easily blend into the background, and if you're not paying attention, you haven't got your wits about you, they'll simply just take you out, or you'll just gang up on you with 4v1 if you're one of those players that runs out on your own, which I usually like to do. But yeah, it's pretty good. It's not too bad. I'm enjoying it. I would love to know what you guys think in the comments below, because there isn't too much on this PvP beta. There's not really many people talking about it, so I don't know if there is sort of this hidden player base that are loving it and they're getting more involved and getting people involved. But please comment below. Tell me what you guys are thinking. If you haven't downloaded it, download it and give it a quick play. Although it is a massive file. Anyway, yeah, give it a play. Let me know what you're thinking down below. And thanks for watching, guys, and I'll see you guys in the next one.